5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Common Man's Take on Sports with Kevin and Quentin.
All right, we got a lot to get to. Welcome to season 2 of the Common Man's Take on Sports. Glad to be back. How about you, Quentin?
Yeah, I'm really glad to be back too.
So we're gonna start off with a little baseball here, since baseball is coming to the end of the season and the playoff picture is starting to shape up a little bit here. Let's look at the wild card race, Quentin.
Okay.
So right now, for the wild card standings, you have the Orioles and the Twins and the Royals all in the race for the American League. You got the Red Sox, who are about 3 games behind the Royals. And then Tampa Bay is a few more games behind them. In the National League, you got the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. And the Mets and the Giants are right there with the Braves. Cubs are close to those two, but I don't think they'll have enough to overtake anybody.
Yeah, I don't think the Cubs will make the playoffs.
I don't think so either. Obviously, Yankees are division winners right now, along with the Guardians and the Astros. Yankees having a record of 73 and 53, but the Orioles are right there on their heels. Them and the Orioles have been kind of going back and forth all year long.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to come down to the end of the season.
Yeah, those two have been at it for a whole season.
Cleveland and Minnesota are kind of neck and neck right now, and Kansas City Royals are all right there. The Guardians have a decent lead over those two, but it's close enough that they could, there's plenty of time they could come back, either one of those teams, and overtake the Guardians. The West is the same. Astros, Mariners are pretty close. Rangers are kind of way out there. It'd probably be a stretch for them.
I mean, the West, I really thought the Mariners would win the West this year, but...
You thought so?
Yeah.
I mean, they're right there. They're 64 and 63, and the Astros are 68 and 58. So it's a possibility. I mean, there's still plenty of games left to play. I know it's getting close, but you still have September left, full of games. So you never know what'll happen there. Anytime a race is that close like that, the Mariners still have a shot.
I thought the Mariners would. Honestly, I thought they'd take the lead back because when they trade for Randy Rosarena, but they don't.
I'll be honest, when you talk about trades, when the Yankees traded for Soto, my biggest worry with that one was Soto's defense, because they're at the end, and part of this might have been because he was kind of done in San Diego with the Padres. I know there's a little bit of stuff going on there behind the scenes, but there at the end of his stint with the Padres, he wasn't really playing defense. He was only an offensive guy. So my worry with going to the Yankees was he going to buy in to the defense, right? And so he has. He has played great defense. He's made several plays that I was sitting there watching the game like, wow, he's really bought into playing the defense side of the ball. Obviously, when him, Stanton, and Judge are all hot, there's been, I think, 3 times this year where they've all 3 hit home runs in the same game. But, of course, Stanton, per the usual, has had his injury problems this year. When he's healthy, he's been great for the Yankees. However, the problem is they have trouble keeping him on the field.
I think if he was healthy, didn't have an injury, I bet he'd have 30 or more home runs this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, yeah.
He's a big hitter.
Yeah, he's a good hitter, but it's just his injury problems.
I'll be honest with you. Judge and Soto have been a force to reckon with this year, when they have both been on point. And New York's pitching has been pretty good this year. Pretty good.
I
know they still. Go ahead.
At the start of the season, I think their pitching was good, but then it's just their pitching started to get bad. I think I think they need better pitchers, honestly.
See, I'm on the other end of that. I thought their pitching started off really slow. I thought that they were winning games based off their offense. They were just outscoring people because they were cranking out runs. And I know they started with a lot of injuries. Like their ace was out for the first, I think it was 30 or 40 games.
He was out for a while.
Yeah, so they've weathered some of those injuries. They're starting to get some of that pitching back. Those pitchers are starting to work their way into the rotation and get their wind in them and starting to get used to playing. So I think the Yankees are doing well. They're still losing games they should be winning, but man, I'm gonna be honest with you, baseball is funny like that. One night everything's going right for you. You look like a World Series contender, and the next night, you can't hit anything and your pitchers are struggling. So baseball's weird like that. However, the Yankees still have one of the best records in baseball. They are up there. It's them, the Guardians, the Phillies, the Brewers, and then the Dodgers, who have 75 wins. The Phillies have 73. The Guardians have 73, and the Yankees all have 73.
So what I've noticed is that Phillies have been losing ever since the All-Star break.
Now that we're talking about this, before you get into the Phillies, let's talk about the playoff picture in the East. We talked about the Phillies are division winners right now. The Braves are, and also the Dodgers are all not division winners, but division leaders. The Braves are right there, but honestly, I think that, and so are the Mets. But I think with they've really struggled since they lost Acuna this year. They're still winning games, but not at the rate they were when Acuna was healthy. That was a huge blow to the Braves. They actually had a shot at the World Series again this year, but with Acuna out, there's no way. I just don't think that they have enough to. That was a huge blow to them.
I mean, the Braves should be World Series contenders right now. They should be, I don't know, maybe a game back from the Phillies, but since they lost Acuna and then they just lost Austin Riley, those are some big losses for them. So if they were both healthy and playing right now, they'd maybe be division leaders. I don't know, but if they're both healthy, it'd be a really close division race.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think the Braves might even be leading that division if they were healthy, but they started off slow, but then they started just killing it, and then Acuna got hurt, and then Riley recently, and it's just they've had some struggles this year that weren't. It just injury bug hit them, and it sucks when that happens because I agree they started out as World Series contenders, but I don't think they're anywhere near it now. The Brewers look good. They look real good, man.
Yeah, I mean,
there's nobody in that division close to them. The Cubs are not going to catch them. Cardinals aren't going to catch them. Reds or the Pirates. Like the Brewers are running away with that division.
Yeah,
they will more than likely win that division. The Cubs aren't really that good, to be honest.
Yeah, the Cubs, they've been struggling this season.
The Cardinals are hit or miss.
Yeah, the Cardinals have kind of been up and down this season, to be honest. But the Brewers, I mean, they've just been really good this season. Honestly, they've been really good.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely really good World Series contenders. I think they can make it pretty far in the playoffs. I think at least the National League Championship Series. I think they can make it there. Possibly the World Series, but I don't know if they make it to the World Series, but yeah.
I think it'll be a steep climb for them because, man, the Dodgers at first were kind of hit or miss and struggling some, but, man, as of late, they have been killing it. They're 75 and 52. They're starting to gel at the right time. I think they're going to go in the playoffs hot.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to be going in the playoffs. Padres, Padres look decent. They're right behind the Dodgers with 72 wins, and you have the Diamondbacks with 71. So that race right there between the Padres and the Diamondbacks is really close. The Giants are, I think they're too far out, and also the Rockies. So
Yeah, the Padres. I remember I saw them struggling, but now they're 72-55 there. I think they might catch up to the Dodgers. They're only 3 games behind, so them and the Dodgers have been.
To be honest with
really
you,
close.
I feel like the Mets will probably bump the Braves out of the playoffs for the wild card. I think the Mets will get the wild card.
Yeah, the Mets have been pretty good for the last few weeks now. They've been winning, mostly winning. So they might bump the Braves. Honestly, I think they will bump the Braves because the Braves have lost too much, especially with injuries, and they're just. But they have won 3 in a row, so. It's kind of hard, but I feel like the Mets have really been winning, so I'm gonna choose the Mets to get the last wild card spot.
Okay. I know that a lot of these battles will be really close down the stretch. Again, the Yankees and the Orioles are really battling it out for that one. It's been a while since the Yankees have been in the lead for the division crown. I will have to look, but I think 96. I'll have to check on that one. It's been a while since they won that division.
That's true.
Yeah, baseball is going to start getting real interesting now going down the stretch because everybody's vying for that playoff spot. Then you have your division winners who got that eye towards that World Series title, right? So we'll see how that pans out. But now if you're a fair weather fan in baseball, now's the time to start watching because this is when it gets interesting. This is when a lot of those close races start getting real tight. You start seeing a lot of guys step up.
Yeah, when the season's about to end, those teams who are so close to the playoffs, they push themselves harder, especially when it's closing to the end of the season. The playoffs are about to start, especially then.
On that note, give a little shout out to men's and women's basketball. Both won gold medal at the Olympics. I will say that LeBron looked pretty good for 40 years old, or almost 40. He had some really great plays in that Olympic as far as that goes. But, of course, Chef Curry had to get his in that last game. Man, he had an amazing performance in that fourth quarter.
8 threes, I think.
Yeah, it was insane. Like the teams at the Olympics finally saw what the NBA teams have been dealing with for the last almost 10 years. Of just when you think you got that dude down, it's just a barrage of threes come. Walking across half court, just drilling 3-pointers. And you can't. Once he's on fire like that, you can't stop him. He's in a zone, and it's ridiculous. But like he's probably one of the best shooters I've ever seen play the game. He hits some ridiculous shots that you're watching like, no way, that's a video game shot, but he hits them. Only guy I've ever seen have the green light to just shoot it from half court at will.
That's why the Golden State Warriors have been winning championships because he's been just drilling threes, taking them through the playoffs.
Yeah, they haven't won in a little bit. I think their window's closed now.
Ever since losing Klay Thompson, the dynasty's done.
But I want to give a shout out to those two. I'll have to go back and look and see how many gold medals the Americans won, but I think they did fairly well
I think it's
at the Olympics.
I saw it. I think it's like 40 gold medals.
Yeah, I think so.
44 or something like that.
They won several. They started off slow, but then they started taking some golds.
That women's Olympic gold medal game, that was really close. It was
Shakari Richardson tore up, took some gold medals. So yeah, it was really close. It's fun to watch some of those games. On that note, we'll talk about college football is around the corner.
Yep.
You know, one more weekend, man, and it's here, and I am ready. I am ready to watch some college football.
Yeah.
I am ready to watch some Michigan football. I'm ready to watch some ACC, some SEC football. Man, I am ready to get down and spend my Saturdays, man, all day watching some college football. I am so ready.
I'm ready to see LSU's USC. I want to see how that plays out. I want to see how that game plays out because it's.
Oh yeah, there's some good Week 1 games. We'll cover that in a future podcast. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch LSU.
Yeah, I want to see how. I want to see how Georgia fares without Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. I want to see how they fare against Clemson. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an interesting game right there.
I think Clemson will take a step forward this year. I think Cade Klubnik will take a step forward this year. He had some struggles last year, but he started figuring some stuff out.
Yeah,
so,
he really did have some struggles last year.
I know they lost some people off that team, some good players, but they got some more ready to step in and take that mantle. I think Philip Maffa is going to be really good this year. He had some great times last year, some great plays. I think that was. I think he'll be good this year. I think they got a couple more, but yeah, there's a lot of games I'm ready to watch. The Clemson, Georgia for sure, USC, LSU, Michigan, Texas, second week of the season. Yeah. Man, I'm ready to watch that one. There's a lot of games that are out there this year that the new expansions, Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC, Oregon, USC, UCLA. All in the Big Ten. Man, I am ready to watch some of these collisions. Oregon has to play, I'm pretty sure, Michigan and Ohio State in conference play this year. These games, there's going to be so many good games this year. Texas, obviously, is going to have to play probably LSU, Alabama. We'll have to look at their schedules. We'll do that here in the next couple of days. But, man, there's going to be some great games this year. Even more than normal with all these conference realignments.
I don't think LSU plays Texas this year. I think they do play Oklahoma.
We'll take a look at it later. We'll do a whole show on college football, and we'll pick out some of our games that we want to highlight for this Week 1 for sure, but probably the season. But yeah, we'll look at some of those matchups and see who's going to play who and what are the games that are going to excite us this year, for sure. But yeah, there's going to be some great games. USC and Michigan play this year. There's going to be some good games. It's going to be a good season.
Yep.
There'll be some great games to watch.
Really exciting season.
Oh yeah. Honestly. I am ready. I can't wait. I am so ready for next weekend.
Yeah.
31st. Actually, I'll have to look. I think a couple of teams might play tomorrow. I'll have to check that schedule out. I think a couple might. Let's check it out right now. Let's see who plays tomorrow.
No. I don't see him play tomorrow.
August the 24th. That's this Saturday. Okay, not tomorrow. They play Saturday. Florida State and Georgia Tech play Saturday. I'll probably watch that one.
Oh yeah, I'll see. I want to see how Florida State plays out without Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman. I forgot the other wide receiver's name though, but I like how they fare.
Thursday the 29th. That's what I was thinking. Thursday the 29th. There's some games. I don't see anybody crazy on here. North Carolina, Minnesota. I'll probably catch that one. That'll be a good one. Maybe Colorado. Nope. They're playing North Dakota State. Probably. I may catch a little bit of that one.
Miami, Florida are playing.
On Friday, you got Stanford and TCU. That's my highlight game for Friday the 30th. But yeah, we'll get into some of the games we're excited to watch for week 1. We'll do that probably in the next couple of days for a podcast or show. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm definitely ready. Right after that is the NFL. I'm ready to see, King Henry down in Baltimore. I'm ready to see how that dynamic works with Lamar and Derrick Henry. Man, if Derrick Henry stays healthy like that is, woo! What are you going to do? Because you got Lamar Jackson on one hand, and then you got Derrick Henry on the other, and they're going to run RPOs. And that's going to be a business decision for a defensive end or linebacker. Do you get run over by Henry, or do you try to chase down Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, that's...
they're going to run RPOs with that duo.
I'm really excited to see that duo.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with Lamar and Derrick.
Oh, yeah. I've heard some rumblings of the Rashard Bateman took some steps forward this year. I know Angelor came back and re-signed with them. So they should have a decent, obviously the rookies back who had a great year last year, Zay Flowers. So Mark Andrews and then Isaiah Likely. So, man, they are to have offensive weapons for days.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely, he took a step forward last year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, he did.
If Mark Andrews is injured again, Isaiah Likely will definitely, he's a valuable asset.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully Mark Andrews stays healthy.
Yeah.
Because they lost him last year, and that was a big loss. Even though they still were winning games, that was still a huge loss for them. And you could tell in the playoffs when he came back, he just wasn't ready to come back yet. He wasn't. His physical being wasn't there yet. He wasn't conditioned. His conditioning wasn't there. His conditioning will be there this year, so we'll see how that pans out. First game, first week, Kansas City and Baltimore. A rematch of the AFC Championship game, so I'll be watching that one for sure. But I'm excited to see Detroit. Can they repeat their success from last year under Dan Campbell with Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Gibbs, and David Montgomery? Do they have a second wide receiver who can step up and help out St. Brown? Do they? Is that defense? They got DJ Reader, a free agent from the Bengals, who's been solid the last few years. Can he bolster that defensive line? If he can, does that mean that Hutch is going to break through and get even more sacks this year because people won't be able to double team him anymore? Because McNeil and Reader will eat up those blocks. I'm ready to watch the Lions. I'm ready to see if the Niners can repeat their success from last year. Ready to see Aaron Rodgers fall in his face again. They got to play the Niners first game out too, so you might see a repeat of last year. Second play of the game, he's injured and out for all season for the Jets. But
if he's injured for the whole season again.
Just saw a story today, man. Bo Nix got the starting 9, first time since when?
John Elway.
There you go. So excited to see how he does. Excited to see if Carolina fixed their problem down there to help Bryce Young out. And everybody is bagging on Bryce Young, talking about, he's a bust, he's that man. I don't think it's him. I think it's Carolina and their stupid moves they made that just didn't do anything to help him out.
Yeah,
anytime your top receiver is on the other end of his career, he shouldn't be your number 1 receiver. That's horrible that they did that to him. I don't think they gave him very many weapons to work with. The defense was solid. We'll see if it is again this year. I know they got a new coaching regime down there. Excited to see if the Chiefs, the Chiefs have an opportunity to three-peat. Something that I will have to check, but I'm not sure if that's ever been done before in the NFL. I don't think anybody's ever three-peated before.
Nope.
So the Chiefs have an opportunity to three-peat. We'll see if they can manage to do that. So many exciting stories in Cincinnati. We'll see if Joe Burrow staying healthy, what they can do.
Oh yeah, if he stays healthy, they're definitely
the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers got that plethora of quarterbacks down there. Pickett, They traded for Fields, and they traded for or signed Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Who's going to start down there?
I think Russell Wilson's gonna start. I looked on ESPN. I think Russell Wilson's gonna start. But I mean, I honestly, I don't like that they got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I don't think those two will help at all.
We'll see what happens. You got Seattle, who had a decent year last year. We'll see if they can take a step forward. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting things for football this year. A lot of exciting things to watch. We'll get into that in our next couple of shows and kind of talk about that as we go along. We'll probably dedicate one show to college football and one to the NFL. We're just excited to get back on here, start talking sports again. We're sorry for the hiatus. I had some health issues that I was dealing with. Quentin he was playing baseball, had a lot of games, and we did not get to do this. We're excited to start this back up and get back to working on our sports talk show. I'm very excited for that, and we're ready to go.
Speaking of the Seahawks, I think their defense will probably be one of the best in the NFL with Mike McDonald.
Yep, that's right. He did get hired as head coach. You're right.
Yep, he was
to replace Pete Carroll.
Best defensive coordinator in the NFL. I think he.
Man, he was good.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I really wish he didn't leave. The Ravens would have had such a good season this year.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm ready to see because they lost Mike McDonald and they hired within an analyst, I think, to be their defensive coordinator or a position coach. So
I'm pretty sure they hired their defensive line coach to be a defensive
I know it was internal. So we'll see how he does, if he can. They've ran the same type of scheme for a long time. We'll see if he can continue the trend of the multiple 3-4 that they run. They've been running that for years. I think as long as John's been there, Harbaugh. So we'll see if they continue that trend or not. I know that their old coach, Wink Martindale, signed on over at Michigan. So I'm assuming they'll be running the same 3-4 multiple that they ran before, probably with some new twists in it. But yeah, we'll see if they keep up that 3-4 multiple they've played for the last probably 8-9 years. We'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, I'm very excited to get in and start talking about some of these sports and what's going on. We missed a lot, so we're ready to pick up and run with what we got now. We thank everybody for listening. We hope that when we post this episode, you guys see it and you start listening to us again. We again had a lot going on, but we're back at it. We're ready to knock this out and start talking about some sports.
Yep.
That's all we have for this episode, for our first episode of season 2. Just kind of went over some of the stuff we want to talk about, some of the stuff we're going to talk about in the future. We thank everybody for their support and who listens, and we appreciate anybody who recommends us to their friends and family to listen to us. We love all our listeners, and if you guys have any suggestions, going over to our Facebook, same name, Common Man's Take on Sports, man, drop those suggestions down there, and we'll talk about whatever. All right. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time on the Common Man's Take with Kevin and
Quentin.